This is Fieldsports Channel News. There are reports that the heather beetle will wreck this year's grouse shooting season. While the reports in newspapers overstate how grouse have suffered from the insect, which eats the same heather the grouse rely on, it's been a bumpy year for the beetle, with thousands of them found on a beach near Scarborough earlier this summer.
Basically, it decimates the nutrition that's in the heather, almost killing it off. We normally get small patches of it, but this year it seems to have covered the whole of the national park.
Chris Packham held his annual Hen Harrier Day at the weekend. The live broadcast on Facebook quickly turned into an anti-grouse shooting event, with the celebrity and his stepdaughter once again calling for a driven grouse shooting ban. He tried to marginalise shooting organisations and blame shooters for not listening to him. Masks and visors, that's what grouse shooting will look like this glorious 12th. Images stunted up by estates in Yorkshire for the York Press show beaters in masks and a gamekeeper in a visor. Gary Taylor, head keeper at the Swinton estate near Masham, which has been holding training sessions, says it feels unreal but is vitally important. 4 chicks have been released after being illegally taken from their nests. South Yorkshire police were tipped off by gamekeepers about a man acting suspiciously who appeared to be stealing eggs from wild bird nests in Yorkshire and Derbyshire. In April, keepers at Snailston, Ladycross and Woodhead estates told police the man was on their land. A 63-year-old was arrested and officers seized more than 200 eggs and an incubator with unhatched eggs in a raid on his home. They released 3 golden plover chicks and a curlew in East Yorkshire. A virtual hound show starts online today. As well as giving hound packs a place to show off hounds and prizes for the best, it's running an auction of more than 100 sporting and holiday lots, including a safari at this South African lodge. The auction has already raised £20,000 for 250 hunts around the world, and you can view more than 500 of the best hounds in the world on the website. Visit virtualhoundshow.com. With lockdown loosening, Orvis says its saltwater fly fishing festival is going ahead. The Chichester Harbour event will be from Friday the 4th to Sunday the 6th of September 2020. Anglers can fish the beaches, rocks and Hayling Island, targeting species including bass, mullet, garfish and mackerel. Catch and release only. Orvis is offering prizes for the longest bass, longest mullet, longest other species, most number of species, junior angler and others.
This is kind of bucket and spades weather, right, you know? And we've all got those sort of memories going down to the beaches. The festival is just a great way to get together, have some fun. It's not targeted to kind of competition anglers, you know, that sort of like, people might feel that there's sort of like a pro element to it. Not at all, couldn't be farther from the truth. It really is for people who want to have a go.
The British press lies about trophy hunting. That's the conclusion of an article submitted to the journal Conservation Biology about media coverage of trophy hunting. It calls many reports fake news. The paper, written by conservationists including Amy Dickman and Adam Hart, says the media commonly report extinction narratives about lions, elephants and rhinos. The writers point out that trophy hunting does not threaten any species, but helps conserve populations of argali, markhor, rhinos, lions and many others. Animal rights activists are persecuting a trophy hunter. Aaron Raby says he is the target of an anti-hunting smear campaign. Extremist organisation PETA obtained a video of him shooting an elephant and uploading it to YouTube, timed to coincide with a scathing article about Raby in the Los Angeles Times. Raby says he was told by the Times reporter they wanted the perspective of a hunter for their story about a California ban. He now says he and his family are receiving death threats. Supporters have set up a GoFundMe account to raise funds for legal action against the newspaper and PETA for using the video without permission. A new mobile app for gamekeepers to report raptor sightings is on its way up to the App Store. Designed for UK estates to submit the number of birds of prey they see, it's currently being trailed on estates in Scotland. It uses the EpiCollect 5 platform developed by Imperial College London. The data collected goes to the Game and Wildlife Conservation Trust. A similar app for mountain hare counting has already been created. As well as raptor numbers, users can submit photos and note behaviour. The app is in reaction to the Rarity Report into grouse moor management, which called for an improvement in the populations of raptors on grouse moors. The GWCT has also launched a new website, whatthesciencesays.org, which sets out to challenge misinformation and misreporting of ecological science. Bird watchers who usually slam grouse moors for the lack of raptors are recording them in droves. It's all thanks to the lammergeier spotted over Derbyshire. It has brought twitchers to local grouse moors where they're all joyfully reporting a rich diversity of birds of prey, as well as other rare ground nesting birds. Thanks to Jake Taylor for pointing this out on Facebook. Firearms owners in New Zealand have taken to the streets over new gun laws. Hundreds of protesters brought traffic to a near standstill in Ashburton in South Island at the weekend. The licensed firearm holders want changes to the new gun laws and say they won't stop protesting until they're heard. The New Zealand government banned semi-automatic and so-called black guns, like those used by the gunman in the Christchurch mosque attacks. Its gun buyback scheme saw 60,000 guns handed in and 103 million New Zealand dollars paid out. The protesters are angry about changes to shooting ranges and the firearms register. Thanks to Per Holmseth for the story. And finally, ever seen a roe reaction like this? It was a warm, tranquil evening, ideal for calling in roe in Scotland. So ideal that the doe charged up to Alison, who was filming, and headbutted her. Posting the video on Twitter, she called it an unbelievable moment. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.